What is up, everybody? We are back for another episode of Palm City Chucks. We know it has been a couple weeks since you've seen our pretty faces, but we decided we needed to take a little bit of a sabbatical. You know, we are human in the end, in the off season, self-producing, just needed a little bit of a break. And what better time than the lull that is March, right? But we are so back and ready to get into it. We're gonna be talking general offseason stuff today. Some trades, some free agency things, other events around the league, and I'm gonna kick it off from a perspective of a Detroit Lions fan that is slightly upset with the organization, but
Disgruntled.
at the same time, it's been a long-standing policy. What am I referring to here? That is players having to pay back a portion of their signing bonus if they do not complete the length of their contract. Player in question right now, Frank Ragnow. Now, as I said, this has been a long-standing policy for the Lions. They even made Barry Sanders do this. Barry Sanders, probably our greatest player of all time. And they made him pay back a portion of his signing bonus. So it's not out of the blue for the Lions. And honestly, I don't think they care about the PR hit that they're taking right now. I think they're just sticking with what they've always done. But it's a bit of a nuanced situation here, right? If the Detroit Lions medical team had deemed Frank Ragnow no longer physically fit to play, they would have no leg to stand on here, and Frank gets to keep his entire signing bonus because he just physically can't do it anymore. Nothing he can do about it. Well, in this particular case, that's not what happened. Frank has made the decision himself to retire, even though, according to our medical staff, he could play. So the Lions are asking for a portion of his signing bonus back since he did not complete the length of his contract. It sucks. You know, I mean, Frank is a franchise legend, definitely up there with the best Lions of all time. And he fought through thick and thin to play for the Lions when hurt. He played through many, many injuries that 99% of the players in the league would not have dared gone out on the field dealing with. And he did. So it sucks from that perspective because it's also only about 1% of the entire salary cap that we're recouping. So it's really hard to understand why they're taking such a hard position here, but at the same time it's not. It's what they've always done. I don't love it. I really don't love it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm of the same mind. Like, if that's always been their policy, I don't really have a problem with it. Like, that's just the way it is, and it should be accepted. But at the same time, I don't love the policy, especially with guys like Frank and, like you mentioned, it even happened to Barry. Like, guys like that, it's like, I mean, they're underpaid when you really look at it in the grand scheme of things, like what they meant to the team at the time they were playing, especially in their peaks. But yeah, it feels like they deserve it, and to be penny pinching for 1%, like you said, of the salary cap, it's not a great look. But at the end of the day, if that's the policy, that's the policy. Like, players know it, players signed it anyway. So, I mean, I think the Lions really aren't in the wrong here. I just am not a fan of the policy on a personal
Yeah.
note. But
No, I agree. It's hard to get mad per se because the players know that is just how the Lions operate. But I fall in the same mind of like, should we maybe reevaluate our policy
yeah,
here?
I think so.
It's just something to think about because you can't have, your leaders coming out and literally saying, because I mean, this is getting so much PR right now. You can't have the leaders of the team come out and saying, "Well, if Barry paid it back, Frank needs to pay it back," and it's just not a great look. But like I said, they
Yeah.
really don't seem to care about the PR hit, and fair enough, it'll probably blow over in a couple weeks, especially once we get into the draft and then the off season. People will probably
Yeah.
forget about it, but It's something many of us Lions fans will remember, given what Frank meant to us. But
Right.
what can you do? And I feel like most Lions fans fall on the same line of thinking, but for those that don't, might like to point to last year and how Frank left the team as a reason why they're doing this. And that's not the case. Like I said, it's a longstanding policy, but it's also not false that Frank did put us in a pretty bad spot last year, waiting so long to retire right before training camp started. I think literally the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get into the season and he makes Lions fans hopeful that he's going to come out to finish the season with us. And then he shows up with a torn hammy and not just a small tear, a
Yeah.
full tear of his hammy. I mean, you got to know about that, Frank.
Yeah.
Come on, guy.
Well,
You
and
knew, you knew.
yeah, which I remember talking about that on the pod too, and you brought up a good point then. Like you a torn hammy, we know the time frame of that. Like this didn't even happen before training camp or whatever, whenever he decided to hang it up. Like it was after the fact. So it happened when he wasn't with the team basically.
Yep.
He was probably training for a comeback or whatever still, but yeah, it didn't even happen with the team. And then, yeah, tries to come back and yeah, they're not going to take you back if you got a torn hammy.
Yeah, it's just not a good decision for anybody. So that's kind of an
Mm,
interesting situation going on with the Lions right now. I hope they maybe reevaluate this in the future, but I'm not sure that they will. But and you know what? As you said, fair in a way. That players know this when they come here. But
yeah,
that's another way to think about it is given the world that it is today and the media light that will be shown on this compared to when this happened to Barry, like this definitely people probably know more about the Frank situation than the Barry situation just given
right.
the time. I
Yeah,
mean, there's the potential for something like this to contribute to a player deciding to go
100%.
elsewhere
Yep.
instead of coming to
And
Detroit. So,
yeah, it's already not like the biggest market in the world, like Detroit. So it's already not really too much of a turn on. Like the turn ons are with your head coach and just the environment that was created there. But this like hurts that environment. Like it's a direct attack on the bright spot of becoming a lion these days. So yeah, it's not the best look, and I think it should be revised and changed. But like we both kind of said, I mean, this was known. This is the policy. It always has been. So I definitely don't think they're in the wrong, but I think they should think about switching it up.
yeah. No, I totally agree. And we can move on, but we're going to stick with the Detroit Lions offensive line because I'd like your opinion on this. Dan Campbell recently came out and said about Penei Sewell that they're prepared to move him to left tackle if needed. And I personally hate it. I
Yeah, you
hate it.
should.
Like, I get it. The left tackle, most people think of because right-handed quarterbacks rule the league. There are a few lefties out there, but left tackle is seen as the primo offensive line spot.
Hmm.
Right tackle behind that
Blind spot.
tackles, top two exactly. But if someone is as damn good as Penne is out on the right side, he is either one or two in the league. I don't think that there's an argument for anyone else on the right tackle spot outside of you could go Lane Johnson, but I mean he's starting to decline, so I think Penny's really starting to put
Yep.
his hooks in the best right tackle in the league spot for sure, where it might have been a debate in the past.
Hmm.
Why take him out of the spot? Do something else. Free agency, draft,
Hmm.
anything, but don't move Penne out of the right tackle spot.
You're so
Why?
right. Yeah, I'm so against this, and I'm glad you bring up Lane because I mean, for a while, Eagles had Jason Peters too, which I mean, one of the best left tackles too. So obviously wasn't, but there was plenty of years there where the left tackle wasn't so strong in Philly, and Lane always stayed on the right side. And I think it's because of what you just mentioned. Like we're not talking about a good right tackle in Sewell. Like we're talking top three of the position, like no dispute, like without a doubt. You don't touch that. And I think another good example of this is currently with the Eagles, which this has gone away since the Eagles have signed Woolen from Seattle, free agent. But there was talk of DeJean moving to the outside. DeJean is top 5 slot corner in the league. A lot of people would say he's the best slot corner in the league. You don't switch positions when you're top 5 in your position you're currently at. You just don't. And when there was talk of this, like, it was really frustrating to hear because it's like you don't mess with that. Like, yes, the outside corner opposite of Mitchell in Philly was rough a lot last year and it needed to be addressed, but you don't take a guy who's top 5 in his position and move him somewhere else. Like, it's just so stupid. So I couldn't agree more. Lions really should not move him because a lot is different too. Like,
Everything's
everything's
reversed.
flipped.
Yeah,
like like
exactly.
I've lived it at the high school level, but like moving around on the line, like it can be done, and especially at the high school level, and especially when you're the size I am, I did just fine. But at the pro level, like I couldn't imagine doing everything the opposite way when you've done it this way for what? He's been in the league 5 years or some shit at this point. Like it's just
Long
insane.
enough to where it's gonna
Yeah.
feel really weird.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
So
he's a
I
good
hope
enough
they don't
lineman.
do
I'm
it.
sure he would be good, maybe even great, but he's not going to be what he is for us on the right side.
Yes,
So
100%. And that's just it. Like he'll still be in the top 10% of left tackles or whatever, but he's the best right tackle or top 3 right tackle. Like you don't mess with that. It's so silly.
yeah, so that was pretty disappointing to hear Dan say it. I'm hoping that's just smoke and mirrors and trying to make Lions fans think, "Oh, we've got a plan and we'll figure it out," type shit, you know. But I guess we'll see. But that's definitely a position I'm looking for them to address here really soon, so that I can feel better about Penne staying on the right. I
Yeah.
really don't want to see him on the left, and it's not because I don't think that he'll do well. It's just he is one of the best, if not the best, on the right side. So let's keep him there, please. Let's
Yeah.
not. We tried to mess with the line and get creative last year, and we saw what happened. It did
Yeah.
not go well. So let's
Mhm.
keep it simple. Let's let
Yeah.
folks play in the
And
position they're supposed to play in.
yeah. And the other thing is too, like, yes, the blind spot is very important. Your quarterback can't see what's coming. Like, you definitely want a guy who's capable in that spot. But at the same time, every single position on the O line is incredibly important. Like, it's not too much more, or, like, it's not way more important to have a good left tackle than a right tackle when you have a right handed quarterback. Like, there's an argument to be made that it is more important, but it's not enough to take a top 5 guy at his position and completely flip it on its head and move him to the other end. Like, no way. They really should not do this.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad we're on the same page there, because I read that and my heart just sunk a little bit. I was like, left tackle Penne is not what I need to raise my confidence level that the Lions will be back this year.
Yeah.
That's what will cause me to lose confidence in the Lions being back this year. Anyways, I'm glad you brought up the Eagles there, because it's a nice little segue to the last kind of offhand thing before we get into some free agents and trades. I've definitely talked about this a little bit before, but it's being brought up again. So I just want to hear from you on it again. This whole Jalen Hurts quarterback situation. We are now up to a dozen team sources talking about Jalen Hurts, his inability to be coached, his unwillingness to try new things. So I would just like to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, I think being coachable is so important and it's something that should never stop. I mean, you could be Tom Brady in your 18th year, like you should be open to learning new things. A good example of this, who the hell was it? It was one of the freaking old time freaking quarterbacks. It was I don't think it was Matt Ryan, fuck, but he's coming to mind, but one of the older quarterbacks of our generation, or it was Eli Manning. It was Eli Manning. So one of his last years in New York, he literally changed his entire drop back and the way he played quarterback after winning 2 Super Bowls, like being a historic all-time giant. This man had success obviously winning 2 Super Bowls, and he's gonna change the way he plays quarterback for the scheme, for the sake of the team, because it's what the coach wanted. And I think there's an argument to be made he's crazy for doing that, but at the same time, I think there's, like, a balance, and what I'm hearing about Jalen is not good. Like, it sounds like he's very unwilling to be coached up and change his ways, and he's still rather young. Like, there are and based on his play, I mean, there are tons of areas where improvements can be made. So I don't appreciate the ego he's portraying here, and I mean, I'm good enough doing it the way I am, which, I mean, I guess so. You did win a Super Bowl and you went to another one, but I think there's so many areas where his game can improve, and I really, regardless, like I said, you could be Tom frickin' Brady. There's got to be a willingness to learn, a willingness to be better. And the other thing is, when you're the quarterback, when you're QB1 of a team, like, you set the whole tone, everybody follows your lead. So is that really the way you want to you want to do this, with everybody behind you seeing exactly what you're doing and what that you're not willing to listen to coaching? Like, yeah, it's I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And initially, I thought it might have just been smoke and mirrors, but as I said, we're up to a dozen
Yeah.
anonymous
I
research. It's becoming
yeah,
undeniable at this point.
right, right, and I'm with you. For the longest time, I was in denial of it because, I think Hurts carries himself well for the most part, and I love the way he is and the way he portrays himself, and, yeah, hearing this was kind of a shock to the system at first. It was pretty easy to rule out, but as you mentioned, the examples and, up to 12 people in the organization saying it's starting to look like there's some truth to it, which, yeah, it sucks to hear. It's not the guy I thought he was, but I know all too well about quarterbacks, portraying themselves as some type of way and being different behind closed doors. So, um, and that was a
Yeah.
subtle dig at Carson Wentz, but I do like Wentz. I think he's a good Christian man, and I like his values in life. But yeah, he definitely gave me that vibe where, like, he was very good with the reporters and said what needed to be said, but, he's just it's all an act in a way.
Yeah, that's fair, and that's kind of what I was gonna say there. It kind of leads me to believe the person that Jalen has tried so hard to portray to the media, the nonchalant guy, seems to be maybe a bit of a facade, and he's a very different man internally on the Eagles.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We're
We'll see.
Honestly, like, it almost does fit what he's portrayed, like the "I'm cool, I'm chill, I'm always calm" shit, and, I mean, you can kinda take that approach in denying, listening to your coaches, like, "No, I'm cool, I'm good, I'm chill," like, but it's the hardworking, it's the leadership side of things where I feel I was, like, lied to. It's a little bit of a knife to the
Yeah.
back, like, I thought he was a hell of a leader. I even, when we go through our quarterback rankings and all that, like, I stand on that shit because I know there's lots of areas where he can improve and where other quarterbacks across the league are better than him. Um, but that was one thing I really stood on, and, yeah, just the winning side, which that hasn't gone away yet, and hopefully it doesn't. But yeah, it's not good to hear any of this, and, yeah, there's still a part of me that really hopes it's untrue, but, yeah, when the numbers are creeping up this high, it's certainly a little frightening, and I just hate it. You're the leader of the team, you're supposed to set the example, and, yeah, it's not good. You don't want other people falling into this same mindset.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is the real reason that Jalen Hurts has had so many offensive coordinators throughout his career. They just don't want to work with them, quite
Yeah.
simply.
Yeah.
That's drawing a bit of
Or
a that's
yeah,
stretching
or
a
they
little
get
bit,
hired
but
as head coach, one of the 2.
yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, stretching a little bit, but I'm still gonna say it could just because I want to, and hopefully it sticks in your head for like at least 2 seconds.
I don't even
Um,
remember what you said.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, you don't believe that.
That's what I thought.
I'm stewing. He's got me stewing.
All right, let's talk some off-season moves then, and I kind of want to get started with some trades here,
Yeah.
starting with the quarterback position. There's a couple interesting ones. Justin Fields going to the Chiefs for a sixth-round pick, coming back to the Jets. I think good for both, and good for Justin Fields.
Good for us too. Just fans of the game. We're finally gonna know what this man is.
Yes, if
There's no
Justin Fields,
excuses.
yeah, if Justin Fields cannot succeed in a Kansas City offense with Andy Reid, he is officially a full-on bust. I will accept that,
Yep.
because I know what we've seen, but I still deep down believe in this man. I gotta say, we've seen flashes in
We
Chicago.
have.
His stint with Pittsburgh was pretty damn good. He was very safe. Won 4 games there for them. I mean,
Yep.
gosh. So Kansas City is really his opportunity to earn a starting job next year. Well, not next year. Next year, after his stint here with Kansas City,
Right.
and prove that he is a viable starting quarterback. And if he doesn't, I will just have to accept that he's a full-on bust. And I think for the Jets, getting a 6th-round pick back for a guy that you benched and produced absolutely nothing for you, you'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's it's nothing out of the ordinary for the Jets, make a signing, overpay a guy greatly, and then get crumbs for it back. But hey, at least you got crumbs. But yeah, for the Chiefs, I think it's a great move. I think it'll be really fun as a fan of the game just to see him in that offense, and now Kenneth Walker in the backfield too. Like that's fun. That should be
I hope
fun.
they unleash him as a runner. I
Yeah,
really
I
do.
really do. I really do. And Pacheco out of the picture, it it's looking like, and Kareem Hunt just another year older. So it's looking like he'll probably get, the touches he wanted last year with Seattle. And yeah, I think it's a big part of why nothing got done there.
Well, Kenneth Walker too, I do agree with that, but I mean Justin Fields. I hope they allow him to
Oh
use
yeah.
his
I'm
rushing
sure they will.
abilities.
Cause
Yeah.
and what I've been hearing with the whole Mahomes thing too, like it just seems like he's coming back sooner and sooner. Like after the injury, I thought they were gonna let him sit like the entire year this upcoming year,
I think it's going to depend
and
where they're
it's
at.
yeah, but yeah, it's sounding like I'm hearing some shit. I'm like, really? I don't think that's a good idea. You don't rush a guy like that back. Um, yeah, it would suck. And as much as I'm ready for the Chiefs dynasty to be over, and that was really enjoyable at taking a year off last year. I really think it would be a very big mistake to rush him back, and God forbid he gets injured again, and then you really lose the flair.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, fan of the game, like the Chiefs, hate the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is a marvel to watch, and none of us
Yeah,
want to see that end yet.
right, right. Well
So
put.
that'll be interesting. And like I said, I really think it's going to depend on how are the Chiefs doing, which is kind of double-edged sword because if they're doing well, yeah, you probably want Patty back, but if they're doing well, maybe let Justin Fields just kind of run with it and see what happens and get Patty the time to rest.
No,
If they're not doing well, yeah, I don't think he'll come back. I think where it gets kind of iffy is if it's a kind of a 50-50 ball.
yeah, and that's what it will be.
That's yeah,
Well, almost without a
probably.
doubt, that's what it's gonna be. They're gonna be 500 or even a game or two under, and it's gonna be Patty. Can you give us a miracle? And he probably will.
Probably. I mean, do you know offhand? I don't know this offhand. How long it took for Tom Brady to come back from his ACL tear? Because Patty's goal is probably just to beat that timeline.
Yeah, right. And he probably will. I feel like injuries have trended that way just as we've gone through time. Guys are recovering a lot quicker these days. I think rehab has just been a lot better in these facilities, and I don't know, maybe advancements in the surgery and the technologies used that way too. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it seems like players are coming back quicker and quicker. I mean,
Yeah,
even like remember Adrian Peterson, how quick he came back? Like
ridiculous.
that was disgusting. As an
Yep.
older running back too at the time. Like that was
Well,
insane.
say what you want about Adrian Peterson, that man was an athletic freak. So,
And he was.
gotta give
He
him
was.
that. But subsequent move here for the Jets because obviously they needed another quarterback to take the helm if it wasn't going to be Justin Fields. They go and get Geno Smith from the Raiders. They get Geno Smith and a
Yeah.
7th rounder and give up only a 6th. This is an interesting one. I can tell you that Aaron Glenn is one confident man in Geno Smith, and I quote, "He will take us to the promised land." Aaron,
Yeah.
did
I
we
think
watch the same Geno last year, brother? Are you sure about this?
Aaron's starting to geek me out. Like, I think he just is cashing a check at this point. He's like, I duped the team into thinking I'm worthy of head coach pay for a few years. I'll take it, and yeah, I'll never be a head coach again, or I'll be a coordinator, or maybe even fucking retire and live out his wildest dreams. But yeah, what a crazy thing to say, and that's something that always bothers me because I feel like coaches and even owners, like even in quarterbacks, whatever, they almost feel obligated to say these things no matter the situation, and you got to keep it a buckski. Like
Oh yeah.
there's like a curse going on in New York. Like it's just not going to happen. A and B, just looking at the talent on the roster, like it's not going to happen. It's just not.
No.
And you bring up a good point too. Like Gino was like, there were some unwatchable games last year, like really putrid. And I hope he bounces back. Like I love Gino's story, and as you know, I'm a story guy.
You
Live for
are.
the story. But yeah, Gino, interesting career, and yeah, brings him back to New York now. Second stint there. I just hope it goes better than the first time around, and I'll put the bar there. I'm not gonna go any higher. I don't expect playoffs. I don't expect promised land. Uh, but yeah, I hope Gino can turn it around because last year was rough.
I think the biggest win for me so far is I really agree with your Aaron Glenn comments there for all the Chuck heads out there and you especially. I just never understood what team saw in Aaron Glenn as a head coach. I didn't even like him as our defensive
No.
coordinator. So, the Jets, I guess I get bringing him back for a second year. You don't want to just keep turning over the head coach position, even though you will. You are the New York Jets
Right.
organization. It's going to happen. I
Oh yeah.
definitely foresee this being Aaron Glenn's last year in New York, if he even finishes the year.
Hmm.
Um, so especially when you go out there making promises to your fan base of like take you to the promised land.
Yeah.
For one, they all
Like
know
it.
that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like they like
Yeah.
they
Like it
read that and
means
probably
anything to
laughed.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They
Um,
laughed and did a shot. Like, that's exactly what happened.
yeah. That's as likely as me winning the lottery, bro. So,
Yeah.
lottery might be more likely than the Jets
Might
going to the
be.
promised land this year.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the
But
promised land? Like getting the first pick in the draft?
six
Can we
wins,
get
bro.
clarification? Yeah.
Yeah, six wins.
Promise. Yeah. Promise land is a 6-win team. Jeez. What a
So
wild
we'll
thing to
see.
say.
I know it's
But
honestly just
you know what I
unbelievable.
mean though? Like other teams, owners, coaches, quarterbacks have said this in the past when they're on like dumpster fire teams. Like I don't understand that. I don't understand it. And it's one thing if it's like you were signed to whatever, a 6-year deal, or maybe you're a rookie and you have all this time to turn it around and you're young and it's gonna grow. Like even that, like, okay, that's fine. Like you're optimistic, you're a youngster, you don't know any better really. But like situations like this, it's just like mind blowing. It's like you didn't have to say that. Why'd you say that?
I think these people forget that most of their fans are honestly pretty level-headed. Yes, they will always retain the hope for their teams, but they don't want false hope or statements like that. Just be realistic. Come out and say
Right.
something like, this is a stepping stone in the right direction for our organization. You know, something
Yeah.
simple
Yeah.
like that. We don't need promised land. Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
we think this is a step in the right direction to build for the future. Keep it like that because that's actually something the fans can buy into. Then you
Yeah.
might think, wow, returning to 6 wins? Hell yeah, Gino, let's go. I'm hyped for 2027. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, because you're not
Yeah.
making the playoffs this year, bro. It simply is not going to happen, especially
Yeah.
in that division. No way, Jose. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Maybe
Gosh.
once I get fired, so he just set the bar, like, absurdly high.
I mean, who wants to stay with the
He set
Browns?
the he set the bar as high as it goes. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? Let's move on.
Yeah.
This is dumb.
I
Just
agree. I agree. All right, let's talk some running backs now. Just one I want to bring up here, and that is, of course, David Montgomery, Mr. Knuckles. The end of an era. Sonic
oh,
and Knuckles is over. David Montgomery going to the Houston Texans in return for Juice Scruggs, a 4th-round pick in this year's draft, and a 7th-round pick in next year's draft. And I have to say, I mean, this was sad as a Lions fan. Sonic and Knuckles have become just synonymous with the Lions backfield and social media, and Jahmyr Gibbs, crying, like Sonic crying stuff on Instagram when this broke and all that good stuff, and it's sad. And I'll miss Knuckles. But this, for the value that the Lions
it's a
got
great move.
here,
Yeah,
it is fantastic. Are you
it's a
kidding me?
great move.
Like, Juice Scruggs has not had a great start to his career, but he was a highly touted prospect, and the Lions have a history of being able to, turn linemen into pretty good players. That's been one of their strengths, even when they have been bad. So I don't mind that as the player throwing. And honestly, if you take Juice Scruggs out of the situation entirely and you're just getting a 4th and a 7th
Yeah,
for an
I'm still
aging running
for
back,
it.
even that, I'm still taking
With
the
the
deal.
contract he has too.
Yeah.
Like,
It,
it is a phenomenal move for the Lions. Like, really
yeah.
flew under the radar as far as one of the better moves of the offseason.
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, and we already saw last year that Montgomery was being used less than a Ben Johnson-less Lions offense, and he probably wanted to get the ball more too. So I think it's a good move for him because Mixon is probably toast. I
Yeah,
mean, he's probably
and
toast.
Chubb.
So yeah, I love Nick Chubb, but it's over, man. It's over,
Yeah,
dude. So Montgomery probably gets to go be the focal point of that Texans backfield there, and they've got a really good defense. And if CJ Stroud can fix his noodle arm, maybe they can do something. But I don't know.
yeah,
He is an Ohio State man after all, so not sure how much faith that I have in him.
yeah.
Although
Track record's not great.
ironic given my opinion about Justin Fields. I don't know what it is about him specifically, but CJ Stroud, I'm just not sure I see a turnaround coming. But I'm curious to see what the Lions do with their running back 2 position. Actually, no, they already
They got
signed somebody else.
Pacheco,
Yeah, correct, Pacheco.
which
Yeah,
I
I
think
knew.
was a good move too.
Yeah. I mean, he's a small guy, but he's low key a bruiser just because he
Yeah, oh
runs like
yeah,
a
and that's
freak.
how he'll be used. I mean, there's
Yes.
no other alternative with a guy like Gibbs in the backfield, but I think it's a perfect fit because, as you mentioned, I think it was pretty clear Montgomery wanted and deserved the ball more. But you can't take the ball away from a guy like Gibbs, and I think Pacheco's a good fit there. I mean, he doesn't have or shouldn't have the demand that a guy like Montgomery would have, and I agree. I think he is underrated as a bruiser and really just a gritty player, fights hard. Like, it just feels right. Like, he gives me Lion vibes. So I like the fit for sure. And yeah, we'll see a ton of Gibbs again too, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really hoping the offense is improved this year. So we'll see. I mean, we don't have to deal with shit offensive
Really just
coordinator.
get and consistency is really what's needed. A lot of teams, Eagles are included with that. Um, but yeah, I mean, Lions showed glimpses of the offense of 2024 throughout last season. But yeah, it was just a matter of doing it game after game. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, a lot of the guys are still there. You mentioned some of
Yep.
the O line trauma, but I still think overall it's a good group up front, and you certainly got skill players out the ass, and golf has been very consistent as a Lion, so I I don't see how it could be bad.
Yeah, yeah, coffee boy. But yeah, I love what you said there. I think this may have been, it's not the fanciest or most splashy trade of the offseason, but I think it might have been one of the better ones when it comes to a team winning a trade here. I think the Lions did very, very well in the value that they got back for David Montgomery.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the wide receiver position. This is where some of the more splashy trades of the offseason have happened so far. First one, I mean, the Dolphins are just in an absolute fire sale / cutting dead weight.
Yeah. Dude,
Jalen
that dead
Waddle,
money's unreal.
the dead money is ridiculous,
Crazy.
absolutely absurd, man. But it had to happen. Had to happen. Tua
Yeah.
no longer deserved to start for them, and I mean to use the word deserve. To be honest,
Yeah.
so they're just fully resetting. Jalen Waddle going to the Denver Broncos alongside a 4th-round pick this year, with the Dolphins in return getting a 1st, 3rd, and 4th. I feel like this is fine for both sides. The Broncos get a true wide receiver 2. Maybe some people might say wide receiver 1. I don't think I'd call Waddle a wide receiver 1 personally. I would say a high-end wide receiver 2, in my opinion. And I think that he'll be, maybe you could say back end wide receiver 1. I don't know. I'm not going to split hairs here. He's a quality receiver. He's a quality receiver is how I'll leave it. And I think that'll be very good alongside Cortland Sutton there for Bo
Right.
Nix in Denver.
Yeah. I think it's a great move, and as an Eagles fan too, very, very happy to see that return Miami got, just in case AJ Brown does get moved. Because it makes me more than okay with it if we get something like that in return. But yeah, I think it's a good move for Denver, and as you mentioned, I think it pairs really well with Sutton. I think that is a good approach. You get a big physical receiver who honestly pretty good going deep too, and just really a good all around guy. And then you get a speed demon and Waddle, and big arm and Nix. So it's good. It doesn't look good for Marvin Mims though. I was hoping
Yeah.
once the trade went down, I was like, please tell me Mims went to Miami, and he was not part of the deal. So yeah, that hurts, but yeah, I think it's good for Denver, and yeah, like I said, I'm happy seeing a return like that for a high-end receiver, just
This
in
might
case.
this might be a crazy thing to say, but the Dolphins might have had more leverage than the Eagles are going to have, though, if they move AJ Brown.
Well, yeah,
So,
what one causes problems, and the other is overall pretty quiet and just does his job. So yeah, but one is also better than the other. Um, but one is also younger than the other. You know how it
oh,
is. But
let me
yeah,
ask you
I think
this.
I think
So
it paints
let's,
a pretty good idea of what the Eagles are asking, and or what they would, be willing to give him up for.
yeah, I mean, you mentioned they're AJ Brown better, but a little bit older. Won't cause problems. Same exact deal, sub Jalen Waddle for AJ Brown, but framework's the same. So let's say AJ in a 4th for a 1st, 3rd, and 4th. Would you take that?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I'd probably take less than that. A big
Okay.
a big big part of it is I want a first, and obviously this is a later first, which hurts it a bit. But yeah, you get a 3 and a 4 in the mix there too. And then I'm sorry, what pick did they give up
They
along
give
with
up a 4th
Waddle?
alongside
A
Waddle.
4th. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say yeah, pretty much that is what I would say is the price for AJ.
Okay. Do you think he still moves this offseason? Does that depend on what you do in the draft?
Well, and that's what sucks about it, because you'd like to know before the draft,
Yeah.
um, without a doubt. But I think getting Hollywood Brown was a good move. I think he's very good as a 3. I think it would be a pretty weak wide receiver 2, but if you had to, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but yeah, if we were to move AJ, I would want to draft one somewhat early. So yeah, it would be good to know beforehand. But with the money involved and everything, it sounds like if he's going to get moved, it would be after the draft. And yeah, I mean, if we get an offer similar to that, it would be tough to say no if it was me making the decision.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, trust in Howie till you can. I mean, he's been excellent for you all.
Right,
So
right. That's just it, man. Like people ask me about the draft all the time, which we'll do a draft episode that I'm sure you'll ask me. Um, but yeah, my answer would be like, I don't really give a shit what I think. Like, just let Howie cook. Like he's done so good. Like you just gotta trust. But I think he does a good job of just getting best available. And I think there's been a lot of luck involved too, where best available was also a position of need, and it seemed to be happening time and time
well, I
again
mean,
where
just
the
so
guy
many
that
guys
fell is
fell.
like also a position we needed.
Well, I mean, it
Like,
goes under the radar because the Cowboys get a lot of flack for this, but they fell because they have off-field issues that other teams pass on because of him. And the Cowboys and the Eagles aren't so different in that they're willing to accept a little bit of that on
yeah,
their
it
teams.
well, yeah. I would The difference
There's
is
a little
what
bit of
the
difference. I said aren't
off-field
so
issues
different.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's I think it's important to note though, because they like they are very against certain, misconduct. But yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. And I mean, this is the team that gave Mike Vick a second chance. Um, we drafted Jalen Carter, who was a known douche. like,
Yep.
yeah, it definitely has happened. You're not wrong, but I think
Still a known douche. Spitting on guys. Come on now.
hey, he was spat at first, but as I said on the pod, masterclass by Dak. It's a very smart, high intelligent move. But yeah, I mean, he knew the idiot was going to fall for it. It's just that simple. But yeah,
Yeah.
I
We
just,
don't
I
need it.
just, all I can do is hope for growth.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, moving on. We just got a couple more here. DJ Moore ending up on the Bills. So Josh Allen gets some reinforcements. They send DJ Moore and a 5th-round pick the Bears do to the Bills in exchange for a 2nd-rounder. I think given the direction that the Bears are heading, wanting to use Rome more and wanting to use Luther Burden more, which I love that they were probably planning to get Luther Burden more involved. I stand by my Rome conclusion, though, at this point. He started off hot last year. I will give him that. And then went ice cold. Ice
Yeah.
cold for the rest of the year.
Injuries in the
But
mix too, but yeah.
yes.
But
But
yeah, you're
still.
you're not wrong. Like, and you could cash in on this one real quick with DJ moving on, which speaking of tooting our horns, I've been saying DJ's getting moved for 2 years,
Yeah.
man. I knew it was not gonna last there. And but yeah, I'm excited. I think it was a smart move too. Like you got a lot of young talent there that you're not paying yet either. Free up some cash, and you can shore up other things on the team. You still got a quarterback on a rookie deal too. Like the time is now for the Bears. Um, we we've noticed the pattern. Like we know what works in the NFL, and rookie on or quarterback on a rookie deal, and you get other positions that are highly paid on rookie deals. Like things work out for you. You can pay your defense, you can pay your O line, and yeah, you can make things happen. But yeah, it's super exciting, and like I said, I think you might cash in because yeah, Burden should see a major uptick in volume this year.
Yep, 100% agree. I think it was good for both teams in this one. Gives Josh Allen
Yeah.
another genuine target because I like DJ Moore. I think he's a quality
Oh,
receiver. Honestly, I
yes.
really do.
Yeah.
And the Bears get another 2nd-round pick this year to give something else around Caleb. So I think that was a good deal for both teams.
100%.
And the last wide receiver one I want to talk about here is Michael Pittman, traded from the Colts to the Steelers. Very interesting. Pittman and a 7th-round pick this year in exchange for a 6th-round pick this year. Only 16 picks between the two there. So essentially, the Colts gave up Pittman to move up 16 picks in the draft.
Yeah.
I don't love this for the Colts. I mean,
I
I
don't
don't.
love
But
it
like,
for
how much?
either.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. At this. I don't love it for either. But at the same time, if you're gonna move back 16 slots for a chance at Pittman being, because I mean, he wasn't amazing, but he wasn't bad either. So Pittman being solid and recognizing that you need somebody else alongside DK
Mhm.
Metcalf, like Calvin Austin. He can be a 3 slots piece or whatever, but he
Yeah.
cannot be a 2,
Yeah.
man.
You're
He
so right.
cannot be a 2.
Yeah.
So, given their team structure, I think taking a flyer on a guy like Michael Pittman isn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fair stance. I just given the play style of Metcalf and Pittman and the similarities in body type and style, like it feels weird, but you're not wrong. To give up so little for a guy that is solid, like that's just the facts.
Yep.
It's not a bad move at all for Pittsburgh. Just a bit of a surprise, but I guess that's their thinking. Like, hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna move back 16 picks for a position we need help with, and we know we're getting a solid guy. Like, let's not get caught up in the minute details of it all. Like, let's give it a go. So yeah, decent for Pittsburgh. But yeah, it looks like the Colts just wanted to move on. I mean, they're not getting much in
Alec
return at
Pierce.
all there.
I
Yeah,
mean,
well, that's right.
I mean, give Alec Pierce money like that, and you got to make changes somewhere because
Yeah,
Alec Pierce can no longer just be your number 3. Because I mean, that's
yeah,
really what he lined up as, even though he played all the time. Because
yeah,
they ran. Who needs a fullback or an extra tight end out there when you have Jonathan Taylor in the backfield? So you can have a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. Um,
yeah.
like just
It's
to be
true.
frank, yeah. So,
It's true.
uh, so Pierce played a lot, but it was never like a
Yeah,
true focal point. So I think they've got to give Alec Pierce a chance to be like a true number 1, given the money that they just paid him. So interesting. But I don't love it for them to pick up 16 slots and 16 slots from the 7th to the 6th round. Not like,
yeah, right.
oh, let's go 4th to 3rd up
It might
16
as
or
well be
3rd
the
to
same
2nd.
pick. Like
Yeah.
it's really a nothing burger as far as what the Colts get in this deal. It's just dumping the contract.
Yep. Yep. All right, moving on. Just to the defensive side of the ball here. Not a ton, but one of the biggest, if not the biggest, trades in the offseason here was the Los Angeles Rams addressing their secondary issues, going and getting Trent McDuffie from the Kansas
Oh
City
yeah.
Chiefs. I mean, they know they need to do something here in Matthew Stafford's maybe last year. For all that we know, they need to give him a secondary that can try to keep him in the games and not just make him score 40 points all the time. But
Yeah.
man, the Chiefs got an absolute haul here. A 1st-round pick this year, a 5th-round pick this year, a 6th-round pick this year, and a 3rd-round pick next year. That is one hell of a haul for a cornerback. That is a lot.
Yeah. And then to make him like so highly paid on top of it all, it's it's an interesting move, but as we know, the Rams have done this before where they've gotten rid of all their draft capital and made it happen. So it's something that's not really new to them. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people made that argument a lot of last year, like how complete this team is if they just had a damn secondary. And yeah, they made a point to correct that this offseason. Uh, Also making some moves in free agency to shore up the position.
Detroit Lions, take notes. We've been saying this about our secondary for fucking years. So, take notes, man. That's how you can go and build a team around a guy named Matthew Stafford. I know we're not very familiar with that kind of game, but uh, just saying. I'm not salty at all that we never really tried to do that when Stafford was our quarterback. Besides the point, though. Um,
Yeah,
Lions are in a
there was
better
just
spot.
so much to fix back then.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know. But all right, just one more. This one's kind of quick, and I just want to bring it up because we talked about the Dolphins fire sale, and more so just how much of a loss this. We were making fun of this trade from like a Dolphins and Steelers perspective last year, honestly. But the Dolphins already sell Minka Fitzpatrick to the Jets for a measly 7th round pick this year after picking him up last year for Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith. Like
Yeah, it's
1 year
crazy.
of him and then to send him off for just a 7th round pick to essentially clear cap space is tough, man. That is so tough.
It is. Yeah, Dolphins are totally just like trying to eat all the money in the world possible this year, just suck so much ass this year, and then start the rebuild. Which I don't mind the strategy here. Like, get it done in 1 year if possible. Like, don't stretch this dead money out year after year after year. Like, just try and absorb it all, and just really go down in flames for 1 year, and then you can start your rebuild. But the only problem is doing it this way. It is a full rebuild. It's not a halfway, or we just missing a few pieces. Like, it is a rebuild. So we'll see how it works out for him in the not so near future. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting move, one you don't always see. So we'll see.
Maybe the promised land is not finishing last in the AFC East. Finish ahead of the
Yeah,
Dolphins.
th- they probably should.
They probably should. Will
Yeah.
they?
Which more Dolphins trauma too. I'm dying to know if I'm sure Malik Willis was willing to just go anywhere that, any team that wanted to make him a QB1, like nothing else really mattered. But I'm just dying to know if Waddle was a selling point. Because like a week after they got him, they just ship Waddle off to Denver. Like, it's just hilarious. But yeah, I wonder if that played a role, because I mean, there's potential that a few other teams might have had interest there. I mean,
Yeah,
Steelers, you still don't really know. Cardinals don't know. Like, there's teams out there that maybe wanted him, but yeah, I don't know. These are things you never find out till these guys retire and go on a podcast. So
exactly. Maybe he'll come on ours. He won't, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
um, But I mean, yeah, no, I agree. That's an interesting one. Dolphins are one of the teams I'm most interested to see what they do in this draft because they are the one team in the league that I think is full on accepting straight up rebuild from the ground up. If the Max Crosby
yeah.
trade would have actually gone through, I might have also added the Raiders to that list, but he is still a Raider now. So, um,
Yeah, and he's a one-man wrecking crew, so whenever you have
yes.
him, you have a shot.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you are a Raiders truther, so I'm not surprised that you have
Yeah.
that stance.
Well, yeah, that's true. That could be misconstrued because I am a bit of a Raider glazer. When I say have a shot, I mean any given Sunday, not promised land talk, okay?
Okay, okay. All right, that wraps up the trades I got for you. I'm gonna pass it off to Chris here, take the lead on some of the bigger free agent signings throughout the league.
Yeah. So I have the top 25 free agents according to Matt Bowen of ESPN. And yeah, I just want to run through those and kind of let you know where they went, where they came from, and the monies. But yeah, number one, he had Trey Hendrickson, edge rush Bengals. He is going to Baltimore since the Max Crosby trade fell through. Apparently they wanted both, but yeah, nobody believes that shit.
Yeah, I was gonna
Uh,
say, what's your opinion? Did they
yeah,
flub that
no way.
physical just so they could keep their picks after realizing Trey Hendrickson was gonna come to them?
100%. Yes. We're
Yeah.
also talking about a franchise that has never traded a first round pick in their history. And they were about to trade two for
Yeah.
one guy who's like not young. I think they realized real quick, okay, yeah, we'll take a guy who's like half as good or three-quarters as good. Sure. And not give up anything? Sounds good. But yeah, they bring in Trey for 4 years, 112 mil. Um, so yeah, still sign him to a chonker, but yeah, you're not losing 2 first-round picks. I think this was a smart move by them. I don't love it though. And after this kind of triggered like some conspiracy shit. Like Ravens be doing some suspect things.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
and a lot of past moves came up after this too. Like even with the Eagles getting Jair Alexander from them, um, it's speculated that they knew he was going to retire or seek mental health uh, help and knew he wasn't going to play and traded him anyway. And like Alexander gave the Eagles all the money we were going to give him back, like a good pro, good pro move there. But it's like we still lost a pick by doing this trade. Like where that at though? And that's in Baltimore. But yeah, little sus. Do with that what you will, but something to look after. I mean, it's nothing new to have, an AFC team be a little sus. Pats, Flakegate,
Oh, man. I
cameras,
mean,
cameras
many
everywhere.
things.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's so much. But let's move on. Number 2 on this list, I would say the true number 1, Tyler Linderbaum, the center for the Ravens, moving on
Got a
to
bag.
the Raiders. Huge bag, highest paid interior lineman in the NFL, a 3-year, 81 mil, 60 mil guaranteed. I think this is a great move for him. Obviously, huge bag, but I like that it's structured 3 years because after this is up, he might want to consider joining a franchise where he has a chance at winning, um, so he can get out and not waste his whole prime uh, in Las Vegas. So I think that's win-win too because Raiders needed help up front. Um, Jonte was getting hit before the line of scrimmage on just about every run last year, and still had decent numbers, a testament to the kind of player he is. But yeah, they need a lot of work in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
But this is a good move.
And thinking about what the Raiders are going to do with this draft, which is draft a rookie quarterback, probably Fernando Mendoza. This is the
Yeah,
type of things that they needed to think about.
yeah.
Though I'm
Get
just
him a
gonna go out
gooch.
there and say it right now. I think I don't think they're gonna be happy with their Mendoza pick in the end. I'm just gonna put that out there into the universe right now. I'm calling my shot here, but you got to believe, so you got to make the subsequent moves as if he will pan out. So smart
Yeah,
decision here, but it is a bag.
yeah. It is a huge bag. But hey, you're gonna have a rookie quarterback, so you're gonna have money to go around. But yeah, I'm not really sold on Mendoza either. To your point, I can get piggyback credit here when we're correct. But yeah, no, I mean I honestly kind of want to be wrong. I really like the kid, and
No, he's a great
um,
dude.
yeah, I
So pure-hearted, it's great.
yeah,
I
and
don't.
I think he does have a good brain, and I think that goes a long way in the NFL. But yeah, I mean, you got to have the talent too, and that's where I'm not so sold. But I mean, there's definitely good pieces, and Brady's going to be in the organization. A lot of people are thinking that's going to mean a lot. I'm not really sure how much that's going to help. I mean, how really involved is he in a practice? Like, I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like he's doing other things, but
I mean,
yeah, I
how
mean,
much
we'll
is
see.
is he allowed to be involved since he's still broadcasting? So like,
Right, and that's
what
a fair
involvement
point.
is he allowed to
That's a
have?
fair point. Yeah, and if he was involved last year, because as we mentioned, Gino, not a good year, but yeah, but yeah, we'll see, and we'll get more into Mendoza talk when we do a draft episode. But yeah, likely the landing spot for him in Las Vegas. But moving on, number 3 is Jalen Phillips, D end, who was an Eagle for part of last year and moved on to the Carolina Panthers. Another massive bag. A player that was speculated to return to the Eagles. Really works well in Fangio's defensive scheme, and there's a strong connection there. But there were and Fangio, I love him. I mean, he just shoots it so straight up said it in an interview too. He's like, "Yeah, we got priced out. We were not. We wanted to bring him back. We were not going to touch him for this. And this is a 4-year, $120 million contract with 80 mil guaranteed. Um, a fine player, pretty productive. Only when he's played for Fangio too, which is a little sus, and also injury prone, riddled with injuries. So a very questionable move made by the Panthers here, and one I don't love, and one just the moves like this drive me insane. Like the Panthers had such a good edge rusher in Burns not long ago, and didn't want to pay him. And then you turn
Yeah.
around a year later or whatever, and you make a move like this. It blows my mind. But I think this is why like teams are bad for a long time, and like yeah, they'll have a moment in the sun and then they just like revert back. And don't get me wrong, I still think the Panthers are on the up and up, but it's like shit like this makes me think they're destined to return to mediocrity. Like, what are we doing?
Hey, maybe Jalen Phillips is the truth, man. You know?
He's not Burns. I can tell you that with confidence. And that's what they had. And the contract probably would have looked less than this. If not, it would be around the same. But yeah, just really puzzling to me. But let's move on. Number 4, a guy you already mentioned, Alec Pierce getting inked by the Colts. He's coming back. 4-year, 114 mil with 84 mil guaranteed. I mean, he had a great season last year, but
Yep.
I didn't quite. I knew he was going to get paid. I didn't expect this. Like
I did not
this
expect
is
this
a
either.
bag ski, and yeah, he's a good player, but holy moly, I just he's gotta replicate what he's been doing. That's all I'm gonna say. But we shall see. I mean, it's really a 1-year sample size, as you mentioned, kind of buried on the depth chart a bit to start out his career. Really broke out last year with Danny Dimes and company. So we'll see what goes on there. But yeah, got a bag ski. Um, Number 5, we got Rasheed Walker, offensive tackle, was on Green Bay. He's also going to Carolina. A lot of people really like this move. He's a questionable player off the field. Um, and I wonder if this has something to do with it, but gets inked for a 1-year, $4 million deal. But with him being this high on the list, I don't know too much about the player, but Matt Bowen of ESPN likes him a lot to have him this high. And yeah,
Yeah.
to get a guy that high for 4 mil for 1 year, not a bad move. So I'm going to say good move for the Panthers there. Next, we have number 6, Adafe Owen, an edge rush for the Chargers, going to the Washington Commanders on a 4-year, 100 mil, 68 mil guaranteed. I like him. I think this is a good move. Like I think he should have been sought after, but again, I think we're paying too much. I think teams go into the offseason having a position of need in mind, and they're just like so stubborn about it. Like they are gonna get a deal done. They don't like it gets to the point where they don't even care what they're giving these guys as far as the money. I feel like this is an overpay, but I do think he's a fine player, and I could be wrong here. Was kind of in a rotation with the Chargers a bit too last year,
Yeah.
so we'll see what he does
I
with like
mean,
starter snap count. But
this one could go either way, really. If he plays like he did on the Ravens up until he went to the Chargers, this is a massive, massive overpay. Massive overpay. But then he went crazy as a pass rusher after ending up on the Chargers.
yeah,
So if that's the guy that comes through, honestly, for a year, 100, it could end up looking pretty good. But
yeah.
if it's more of a Ravens Adafio way, then ooh, this is another step back for a Commanders team that already took a pretty big step back last year. So we'll see. We'll see. Could go
Yeah,
either way this one.
fair, fair. Next we have Braden Smith, an offensive tackle for the Colts, going to Houston. 2-year, 25 mil, 13.5 guaranteed. Don't know much about this guy. I know the Colts typically have had a pretty good O line. Um, so he's probably decent, and I think the Texans could use it. So I think it's a good move. They really have to put themselves in a position where Stroud has no excuse, and they can truly know if they have their guy or not. And I think this is a step in the right direction as far as riddling that out.
Yeah. So
Um,
I made my claim, so I just want to ask you while you brought him up again. Do you think Stroud is their guy?
I don't know, man. It's so tough because as we know, like rookie year can be really nice for a quarterback. Typically it's not, but it can be, and that's because the film's just not out yet. Uh Teams don't know. So I try and look more into the second year, third year, and that's where we've seen some major struggles from Stroud. So I'm leaning towards no, but at the same time, it's not a situation where I know for sure and I would move on. Like I do think he should be owed this year here coming up to figure it out, and I think it's fair to make a decision after this year. Then you have 4 years to go off of. You know what the fuck he is, and it's also the Texans have been improving their roster year after year as well. So I think this will rule everything out. And yeah, I mean, I thought for a moment he was going to get moved this year, and I think that would have been fine too. I think there's enough footage out there. I think we have a good idea of what he is, and I don't think he's their guy. But at the same time, with how special that first year was, you saw a lot of potential. So I don't mind giving him this year and going off of that. But as we've kind of said in other episodes too, like you kind of need like there's only so many guys that are actually going to get you a ring in this league unless the team
Yep.
around them is just truly absurdly stacked. Like you need a really good quarterback, and I certainly don't think he's one of those. So I think they should always be open to improving and until you get one of those what 5 to 10 guys in the league that can actually do it.
Yeah. And just to clarify, like my thoughts on no is like there's one thing about like performance, but like the thing that really scares me about him, especially last year, is he genuinely looked to be playing truly scared.
Yeah,
Like he
that is.
actually looks scared to be out
Mhm.
there. And it's not that he was struggling. He looked afraid, and that scares me.
Yeah. You're right. There's no spot in the league, that should have a player playing scared, and it's a grown ass man's game. Like you can't be playing scared, and it's honestly dangerous if you are. I mean, you're gonna hurt your
Yep.
team, and you could hurt yourself, like with physical injury. Like you cannot play scared. You kind of have to cut loose and just play and just go. Like you gotta kind of just let autopilot take over. If you're thinking to the point where you're getting scared, that's already a problem. You're thinking too much. Like shit needs to be second nature. It needs to be you're working off instinct. So yeah, that's definitely problematic, and I don't disagree with your diagnosis. Like I've definitely seen moments where yeah, he literally looks afraid.
Yep. Yep.
Moving on, we got John Franklin Myers going from Denver over to Tennessee. Enjoy that lack of income tax, brother man. 3 years, 63 mil with 42 mil guaranteed. Lovely move there. Is getting a bag ski. And yeah, I think it's a fine move. I think it's a good player. I really have no beef with this. And Tennessee, it's year two of your rookie quarterback. It's time to start. You got to bring some talent in. You got to give them some help. So I think it's a fine move.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Give him somebody alongside Jeffrey Simmons, you know? We
Yeah,
need that.
right. Yeah, and what a stud he is. But yeah, number 9, we have Alontae Taylor, a cornerback for the Saints, also going over to Tennessee. 3-year, 58 mil with also 42 guaranteed. Don't know much about this guy. Pretty sure he was I wanna say he was a slot corner. I could be wrong. Don't like I said, don't know too much about him, but, um, again, my boy Matt Bowen has him pretty high on this list, so he's probably a decent player. I didn't see too many Saint games last year, but, um, yeah, I again, Titans need to start getting talent over there, so a fine move as long as that is talent that they're bringing over. But like I said, don't really feel comfortable speaking on this guy.
Yeah. I mean, this might steal your thunder a little bit, but the Titans are like really going for improvement this year. I mean, another guy
You
they
have to.
signed, Wandale Robinson, man, they gave him 4 years, 78. Like that kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, holy
Yeah.
crap, 4 years, 80 million
Well,
for Wandale. I mean, at the same time, he's caught just short of 200 passes over the past 2 years, and that's with inconsistent quarterback play. So
yeah. Well,
maybe.
the other thing is too, like Dable and Sala have brought in so many of their past players this
Oh yes.
offseason. Like they know the kind of locker room they want, and they're bringing their locker room guys over, and not just that they're locker room guys, there's some talent there too. But yeah, it's an interesting approach, and I feel like I haven't really seen that much carryover like this before. And on that note, we're seeing Harbaugh do it with the Giants as well. Brought in a lot of Ravens. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. And yeah, Tennessee has done it with so many guys, so we'll see if it pays off for them.
Yep. Sorry, the brain's flowing now that you brought up Harbaugh bringing in the Ravens. I think my personal favorite offensive move. I think this guy is so underrated. Should have gotten more time. I think he arguably might be better than current Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely.
Oh
I
yeah.
I
Mhm.
love the Giants picking him up. I think he is extremely
Yeah,
talented at the tight end spot.
right.
So I love that for the Giants.
Yeah, it's a great move, and honestly, should have made my own list, not going off Matt Bowen's because Likely's on his list, but too low, all the way down at 18. But I think that's a major move for them too. I agree. I think that's awesome. They already have some young tight ends, but I think they're primarily good at blocking. I mean, I think there's some receiving upside, but
Theo
to bring
Johnson,
in a
bro.
yeah, to bring in a guy like Likely, I think is a smart move. And yeah, the Giants are on the up and up. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on how long can Cam Scatabo and Jackson Dart stand upright.
Yeah.
That's the real question here.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And yeah, I just need to see more from them too. Obviously Dart in particular. Um, just
Yes.
really, really tough to narrow down what they have there. Um, for me at least. I think a lot of people are certainly sipping the Kool-Aid already, but I'm not there just yet. I want to see some more, but yeah, if he's got something special, it's going to be a good team. We know what Harbaugh can do, and the roster has improved a lot. But you're right, there's still a lot of areas of improvement needed. I see a lot of rumors of people wanting them to draft Love, and it's like, dude, if they do that, it's so stupid. Like he's a hell of a player, and it certainly would help their team, but you gotta work on that O line. You gotta get some other areas shored up before
Yeah.
you double down on a position that you already have is pretty good and Scatabo and Tracy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, you just can't spend the draft capital on Jared that's going to require to go and get Jeremiah Love. We have
Right.
talked about this on past podcasts, and I mean, Scatabo surprised me with just how effective he was last year, but I still maintain that that is a short-lived career,
Yeah.
and success for Scatabo is incoming. I mean, just the way he runs, his size, his 40 time, it's just not meant to last a long time in the league.
Right.
Now Tracy's an interesting guy. I actually kind of like Tracy, but I
Me
think
too.
he's a good 1B. and it could benefit from a 1A. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
sure. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, but that's part of why I think it would be silly to go and get a guy like Love because
Correct.
I like Scadaba's not the 1A to his 1B, but
Yes.
what's so bad about rocking two 1Bs or a 1B and a 2? Like, you can get away with that for a year,
Especially
so
given where you were at last year, exactly. I mean, you just wanna
right.
see consistent
You're
growth, and
just
for
looking
where
for
you're
growth.
at,
Yep.
you can't spend a what's likely gonna require a first round pick to go and pick up Jeremiah Love with everything else
Yeah.
that you've still gotta fix first. You gotta go elsewhere.
Yep. 100%. But let's move on. Raiders made another move in getting Quay Walker from the Packers, a 3-year, $40.5 million deal with 28 guaranteed. They also went and got Nakobe Dean from the Eagles. So happy Dean went there, by the way. The Cowboys were interested. I think they might have even offered like the same as the Raiders, but Dean still bleeds a little green, I guess, because he couldn't even imagine himself as a Cowboy, and he'd rather go to the Raiders, which not ideal, but you
I
know,
mean, also live in Vegas, live in Dallas. I mean, Dallas isn't bad, but live in Vegas. Way up there, alright?
right? But yeah, happy for Dean. I'm glad he's getting opportunity, and he's on a team that I can root for him without any guilt. But let's move on. A guy I did mention, Woolen, Eagles got a stud corner, and in Howie fashion, he's gonna make him earn his contract this year. It is a 1-year deal up to 15 mil. But there's incentives he has to meet to get that 15 mil. And even if he does, I don't think there's really a chance of an overpay here. With what he's done with Seattle, it's been a lot of ups and downs. Um, but a lot of people think he's gonna fit really well in the Fangio's scheme, and I'm hoping they're right. But either way, you needed to try something. The Eagles needed an outside corner opposite Quinyon Mitchell. It was ugly last year, and it's a problem. I mean, teams were just targeting it constantly. And yeah, we you need somebody who can at least play a little bit, and he certainly can do that. And I think there's a lot of upside. He's very good at taking the ball away as well, which could be exciting. But just a 1-year deal though, so
Yeah.
nothing too
I
crazy.
I think it's gonna depend on how does he keep that attitude in check, you know? I mean, we saw it in the playoffs there. He almost cost his team, know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we shall. A lot of that going on in the league, and too much of it going on in Philly, if you ask me.
I mean, come on, it is Philadelphia, my guy. Are you really that surprised? Let's be real here.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. Uh,
That's what I thought. Yeah.
let's move on to one that makes me very, very, very sad, and that is Mike Evans is no longer a Buccaneer, and he's going to frickin' San Fran, man. Ugh. And
It's
to make
gross.
matters worse, it's not even I'm hanging him up like I know I can do it one more year. Like it's not even one of those. It's a 3-year freaking deal. So we gotta deal with him in San Fran for 3 years.
I
At
don't think he
least 2.
finishes that
At least
contract.
2.
Yeah.
That's why
I don't
it's
think he
just yeah.
finishes that contract.
Yeah, it's probably a 2-year. Um but yeah, 3-year, it's up to 60.4 million with 16.3 guaranteed. He's got a lot of incentives
Yeah,
to meet
exactly.
as
The
well.
16.3
Uh,
guaranteed, that tracks for like, give us at
yeah.
least one, you
Yep.
know.
Yeah. And let's hope that's all it is. But yeah, I hate to see him leave, and yeah, it's upsetting because there's a lot of receiver talent in Tampa Bay, but I still feel like he could have been the spearhead of that team. I mean, this guy is Mr. Consistent. He's a stud, always has been, and hasn't really proven otherwise. I mean, injuries got him last year. He finally broke the thousand
I mean,
yard streak, but he's a good player, and it's a shame to see him go, you know?
I mean, let me ask you a question because I guarantee, even with the wide receiver talent in that Bucks room, you have to imagine the Bucks offered Mike Evans something, right? So I feel like this had to come down to a Mike Evans decision, just wanting more money, which sucks. But I feel
Yeah.
like that had to be the case here, and maybe you could put it back on the Bucks, and maybe they went like vet minimum, which like, all right, that's a little bit of a low ball. I don't. Who knows what the Bucks actually offered him if they did? But I have to assume that the Bucks offered him something,
Yeah, I
some
think it's
deal.
yeah, I think it's safe to assume he was offered something. But yeah, I think you're right. They probably lowballed him. Um, which yeah, it it's not evil of them to do that. I mean, he's in the twilight years of his career. There's other players they got to look forward to paying, and there's a future to worry about. But you'd like to see them meet in the middle somewhere. And as you mentioned too, the 16.3 guaranteed, this is looking more and more like a 2-year deal, maybe even a 1-year deal. Like you can't make that happen. Come on.
It sucks, but like I said, I also get it from the Bucks side because I mean they've got a lot a lot of wide receiver talent there right now
They do.
behind Mike Evans, and with Mike Evans getting injured as much as he did last year, and how their season went,
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
time to switch things up.
it is a business. We are
It is.
reminded of that each and every day.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Tough decisions have to be made. Another sad one for me, at least. Tremaine Edmonds leaving Chicago for the Giants. Uh, really liked him, and I really liked his time in Chicago. Him and T.J. Edwards. It was a good tandem when they were healthy, but that was part of the problem, and that's why it's probably for the best that they're moving on. But yeah, he's going to New York and the Giants, can't just say New York. 3-year, 36 mil, 23.7 guaranteed. A really good player, like I said, when he's healthy.
Yep.
Definitely need to be out there and available, but I think a fine move for the Giants there.
No, I agree. I really like Tremaine Edmonds as well. I think he's a very quality player.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And one of the best users ever in Madden. It's a
that
tall
is
ass
true.
linebacker, man. That is Lurk
Yeah,
City.
it is. It is.
Moving on to a guy I kind of hinted at, and that's Jalen Watson, cornerback for the Chiefs. Also going to the Rams, another one of the moves the Rams made to shore up their secondary. A 3-year, $51 million deal with 34 guaranteed. So, yeah, you can see the chunk of change the Rams have thrown at the secondary this year. It is remarkable. Um, it almost has to work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think so? You hope so?
Yeah, and a teammate of McDuffie too, so there's even some chemistry added bonus points there. But yeah, we'll see. I think they threw a lot of money at this position, so it still is feeling like a bit of a gamble to me, and it shouldn't when you're throwing money like this. But I think Watson, there's a strong chance this was an overpay. I think McDuffie was probably an overpay too, but at least you know he's really, really good. I just don't know that he should be like the highest paid corner in the league. I don't know if I'm there with him, but I mean, you know, you're going to get production and good play out of him, so at least you have that. But Watson, I'm not too sure.
That's fair.
And 15 on Matt Bowen's list, we have Malik Willis. Already kind of mentioned it. He is a Dolphin. He was the backup to Jordan Love with the Green Bay Packers. He's getting a 3-year, $67.5 million deal with 45 guaranteed. Really happy for this guy. Um, seems like a great dude, and played ball at like what, Liberty.
Liberty. Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's something about that I always appreciate because offers were coming. He could have transferred. He could have did all this and that. Stayed with the team. Had a shot with the Titans. Didn't work out. Didn't really give him much of a chance, might I add. Ends up moving around a little bit and yeah, has moments in the sun with Green Bay with Love out and just really performed really well. And a lot of people have talked of his work ethic and how good it is. And there's people over at the Dolphins organization that saw Willis with the Packers and were a part of the Packers organization. So they're
Yep.
aware of this ethic. And yeah, there's hope that this is a diamond in the rough kind of situation. But as we mentioned, he's not going to have much help at all. So kind of feel bad for him as far as that goes. But you know, things could turn around quick, and he should be there for 3 years at least.
Yeah.
Um,
I love me some Malik Willis, man. I am ready for starting Malik Willis. Like, I
yeah.
just want to see it so bad.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's a little tainted because I had him in our dynasty league and let him go, and I knew he was going to start again someday. That's why I picked him up, but I showed my cards a little too early, and then yeah, somebody else gobbled him up, and of course now he's
Well,
a
your
starter.
dynasty team's had a hell of an offseason, man, so you can get
It
over this
has.
one.
I can, but yeah, quarterback's still kind of a position of need. Um, But yeah, moving on, all the way down at 16 on this dog shit list by Matt. This is where he has Kenneth Walker. I mean, we already talked about it, but I'll let you know the monies. But yeah, he's a Chief now, 3 year, 43.05 mil and 28.7 mil guaranteed. But yeah, great move for the Chiefs. Uh, so somebody had to get this guy. He was just getting wasted in Seattle. Refused to give him the touches he deserved. And yes, there's a bit of an injury history there, but I mean, the guy is just magic when he has the ball in his hands. So
Super
really
Bowl
happy he's
MVP.
yeah, right. And a great postseason just altogether. When Charbonnet was out of the picture, you finally saw it. And I mean, a lot of people knew what would happen if he did get the touches that he deserved. It just we finally got to frickin' see it. But yeah, we should see it in Kansas City. As we mentioned, Pacheco out of there. So yeah, a lot of the touches should be his.
Yeah, I agree. Great landing spot for him, and
Yeah.
great for the Chiefs. I think it's good for everybody there.
Yeah. Moving on, we got another one where it's like, really, all the way down at 17? Come on, Matt. Devin Lloyd, linebacker for the Jags, going to Carolina, 3 or 45 mil, with 25 guaranteed. I really like this move. I think he's a hell of a player. I think Carolina, as you can see, I've brought them up quite a bit so far. They're making moves this offseason. They're spending a lot of money to do it, but yeah, they're making moves. They're building the team. I think this should be pretty good. And similar to Stroud, like it's kind of the same thing with Bryce Young. Like they're putting it in a position where it's like, all right, we're gonna know if we have our freaking guy or not. Granted, the way their careers have gone have been very different. We have Stroud who started really hot and has been on a downward trend, and we have Young who was pretty freaking bad and is on an upward trend.
Pretty
Uh,
freaking bad is a nice way to describe it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but has shown improvement since, whereas Stroud has declined. But yeah, both teams need to sure out their future, know who their guy is. So, good moves. You got to bring in talent so you truly know what you got. Next on his list was Isaiah Likely, which we already discussed. Coming in 19, Romeo Dobbs, going from Green Bay to New England. 4 year, 68 mil with 39 guaranteed.
That was a
This
lot of
right
money for
here,
Romeo Dobbs, bro.
right. And I was just gonna say this is why people think there's an AJ Brown trade in the making to the Pats, because Romeo Dobbs is their current number one wide receiver. Um, and I was gonna counter to that with the point you just made, but they're kind of paying him like one. Like he's getting a bag. So do you really want to pay an AJ Brown level contract on top of it? I mean, teams do it all the time, and especially when teams are rocking a quarterback on a rookie deal, which the Pats are. So it certainly doesn't rule out any AJ Brown trade happening. But I do find it interesting that they gave Dobbs a bag like this. A lot of people have speculated that the market just dried up on them quick. A lot of the receivers that they wanted were gone. They were never really in the mix with it, and they were like, "Holy shit, Dobbs is like the last liable option left. Like, we have to get him." So, yeah, looking like a bit of an overpay, but I do like Dobbs. I think he's a fine player, and I'm curious to see what he does in another place because the Packers are just weird. They had that whole we don't have great receivers, but we don't have bad ones. We just have like 5 good receivers, and
Yep.
Dobbs was one of them. But it was a crowded room. Dobbs seemed to be towards the top. He was on the field a lot. But yeah, it was just a weird situation in Green Bay. So curious to see what he looks like with Drake May.
No, I agree. I agree. 17 mil per year is a lot for Romeo Dobbs, though. I mean, he's got a lot to prove, but at the same time, they're shedding the Stephon Diggs contract, so maybe they
Yeah,
felt like they could go and do that. And as you said, the market might have just dictated that when you get guys like Alec Pierce, who I do actually really like Alec Pierce, but him getting
yeah,
almost
it's a
$30
lot of money.
million a year.
Woo! Yeah, it's a lot of scratch. Um, yeah, I got number 20 on here. Travis Etienne. I love this move. He's going from the Jags to the Saints on a 4-year, $52 million deal with 24 mil guaranteed. I think the money's good here. I think that's about what he's worth. It also feels pretty safe. It's not anything crazy. But why I really like this move is he feels very similar to me, like to Kamara in style. I think he runs the ball probably even better than Kamara does. But a good pass catcher, and I just feel like he fits kind of what we've been seeing from the Saints for as long as I can remember. I mean, because not long before Kamara was Darren Sproles catching the ball out of the backfield
Yeah.
constantly. So it's a running back I think that totally fits in that scheme. And yeah, a running back that really bounced back last year and is really fun to watch when he's cooking. So hopefully we see more of that and not the ETN of not last year but year before.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad contract, but I do think by the end of it, it'll be a bit of an overpay. I'm not a huge ETN guy, personally. So he performed well last year, had some flashes before his really bad season 2 years ago, but
Yeah,
he's
that
age
season was quite
27
bad.
now. He'll be 31 by the time that this deal is done. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's egregious, but I don't love the money. But then again,
Yeah.
market just could be dictating that's what you had to pay. Go and get a guy. And
Right.
when Tyler Shuck, you got another rookie quarterback, you right there, and you got money to spend other places.
Yeah, you do. That is true. The beauty of the rookie deal for the quarterback, man, I miss it. Everything's so much easier. Then these
Hey, maybe
fuckers
coming
wanna get
soon.
paid. It's crazy. Maybe. We're gonna get Mendoza.
That
That'd
would
be
be
funny.
something.
Just ship Jalen to the Raiders. That'd be
That's a
wild.
thought.
Yeah. No way that's gonna happen, and I don't want
No.
it. I mean, how could you it's Jalen's just so difficult, man. It really is. I mean, we've had such great success. We literally won one, we went to another one, like, of course, I don't wanna get rid of that, but god, it's annoying sometimes having them. I must say.
Yeah.
It's really just a back and forth battle, but overall, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, hell, you win in this league, it's like the next 20 years don't matter, like, you just fucking won.
Yeah,
And
that's
we have
fair.
2 in recent history, so I'm forever grateful. Um, and speaking of the Birds, I just wanna touch on, Um, Reed Blankenship moving on. 3-year deal. He is going to the Texans. Said something that hurt my feelings a bit. I don't know if you saw this, but he goes to say that phone call with D'Amico Ryans and like the Texans or whatever, like it felt like such a great fit. Like they really wanted me. This was the first time in my career I've ever felt wanted.
Ooh.
What?
Ooh.
He's he's an undrafted guy. We gave him a shot, made him a starter, like, and he's a hell of a player. Like I'm gonna miss him, don't get me wrong. But you didn't feel wanted? Like you shouldn't have been in the league, dude. Like you weren't in the league. We made it so you were. AKA we wanted you. Like I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm reading into it or took it the wrong way, but that kind of irked me the way he came out and said that. But either way, hell of a player. I'm happy for him. And I don't mind the Texans, and I like that he's going to work with a defensive mind like D'Amico. I think it's a good fit, and yeah, I hope nothing but the best for him. But thought that was a little odd, like not
Yeah.
wanted. Maybe
I
he's
mean,
saying
I
that
don't.
because he was undrafted, but it's like I mean, you still found your way on a team and were certainly wanted. Like we missed every time he couldn't play. Like you felt that absence. Like I know the fans, like the Eagle fans, loved Reed Blankenship. Like he was definitely wanted. He wasn't a scrutinized or hated player in any way at all.
I feel like he meant what he said. Most guys are pretty careful with their words these days. They know what they're saying, and Philadelphia is not exactly a great city to make enemies with if you don't believe what you're saying. So I feel like he meant what he said. Exactly what that means, I couldn't really tell you. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think
but
it's more even just vocalizing it with you now, like I think it's cause he was undrafted. Like nobody wanted me, nobody drafted me. You know what I mean? I think it might just be as simple as that, and I'm getting a little overly emotional.
maybe. But when you're leaving a team that you've been on for a while and the one that did give you the shot, I think that might be an oversimplification slash justification as well to make yourself feel a little bit better. Just throwing that out there.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm sad to see the white boy secondary come to an end.
Yeah.
With Cooper DeSheen and Reed
Exciting
Blankenship.
whites. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like it was a strong bond like that. I'm definitely
Yes,
gonna miss that. I'm sure Coop's gonna miss him because he's going nowhere.
that's
Which
true.
that's the other. We need a fucking rookie quarterback, man. We gotta pay. We're gonna have to pay him and Quinion next year. We
And
gotta pay
corner contracts
Carter.
just keep
We're
getting
gonna have
higher and higher,
yeah,
man.
and we're probably gonna have to pay Carter. We chose to pay Davis, which I didn't think we were going to, but then he had a freaking great year last year. Hey,
What I tell you, I definitely brought this up on a past pod, but their Eagles window is closing. They're screwed soon, and they won their Super Bowl, but
yeah,
their
so,
their their
like I said,
time. Yeah,
you
I'm
win
just
the 20
saying.
years after, don't
I'm
matter.
just saying, let's not lie like you hope they go and win another one. If they're going to win
Oh, of
another one
course.
anytime soon, it's got to happen really soon because they also have the most deferred money in the league
Yeah,
by
that's
a
true.
fair margin. So they don't even have so the deferred money also limits the amount they can put into these contracts because they
Yeah,
already have additional money on the books in future years.
right.
You are going to be making some hard cuts here soon.
Yeah,
And
and
it wouldn't
already
surprise
have.
me
Yeah,
if Jalen Carter or Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, one of those three is just an unfortunate cap casualty.
yeah. It's gonna be tough to do all three. So you're not wrong. That's part of why, like the whole AJ Brown shit, like because people ask me all the time, like, what do you want? What do you want for him? Like, if you were to give him up, and kind of like I said in this episode, like what Denver got is, or what Miami got is pretty much what I'm looking for. Like, I want picks. I want guys that we're not going to have to pay. We're going to get this cap relief, and yeah. You can get young, good talent again. Like we have to flip the way we've done things. We had like the most expensive offense in the league, and we drafted freaking studs on defense and didn't have to pay them. So now as the cycle goes, this thing's gonna flip. Like we're getting to the point where we're gonna have to pay both. So now you kind of have to draft offense and do it well, God willing. Then you're not paying the
Or
offense
not.
and you got to throw this money into the defense. And that's kind of the cycle that we're going to have to be on. But the problem is the overlap. Like the length of some of these careers, it makes it where, like you said, you're going to have to make some really tough decisions.
Yeah. It's certainly going to be interesting to see. The Eagles have one of the more money contract situations in the league right now. Curious to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Scared to see how it plays out.
I'm excited.
No, it's not exciting.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It's thrilling, actually.
It's not. All right. Do you have anything else? I'm out of free agents.
I just want to bring
Uh,
up two more that we haven't mentioned. I just feel like they should be mentioned here. We kind of alluded to
all right.
one earlier. That's Tua
Yeah.
Tagovailoa. I mean, a crap ton of dead money for the Dolphins here. Such an interesting destination going to the Falcons. I mean, what is Tua thinking, and what are the Falcons thinking? Because Michael Penix and Tua are not so different. They're both lefties. Kirk Cousins is still on the books. I mean, can you explain that to me? I just don't understand the thinking from anyone there. Like, what
Yeah.
actually, what brain
I
power was
mean,
in use?
so I think it's still Penix's job to lose, and I think they've kind of made that pretty clear. Um, but given the injury history and him currently, rehabbing and coming back from a major injury, you need to have a guy who can step in and perform. And I think they see that in Tua. And Tua, on the flip side, has come out and honestly really impressed me. Like, totally willing to take this backup role, not,
Well, I mean, he
upset
got
or
a
thinks he should
bag
be the
from
starter
Miami
and all that.
first.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well,
he's probably
yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. He is, but I still find that surprising. Like, how competitive guys in the league, like,
Well,
generalizing,
maybe he's
but
coming around to accepting he should get hit less at this point in his
yeah,
career. Like,
he
which is good.
probably should.
You and I
Yeah.
have had a conversation on this pod in the past that realistically he should probably have retired.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
so maybe this is for
I
the
know
best.
I would have.
Yes,
But
exactly.
yeah, yeah, you're probably right. That probably is playing a role in this where why he's willing to accept the backup role. But regardless of why he is, which makes it somewhat of a fit. You don't have to worry about, the quarterbacks feuding. But yeah, it should be Penix, and yeah, I mean they're just gonna have two left-handed injury prone mediocre quarterbacks, and yeah, it's kind of a puzzling move, but I don't really know what else they could have done. Like, you're gonna get a backup quarterback for Penix that is serviceable. You need one because Penix is unreliable and injury prone. Um, so yeah, I think they made the move they had to make. And I think Tua's not really a bad option as far as backups go. He's probably fucking top 2 in the league.
Yeah, as backups go, he's probably up there. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But all right, moving on to the last one here. I really want to be able to make fun of 9 as we wrap up this episode. But Kyler
Oh
Murray
boy.
going to the
I
Minnesota
don't even know
Vikings.
how I forgot about that one.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one, right? Because a couple
'Cause he's
questions for
better
you.
than McCarthy.
Yeah. No. It's a couple questions for you. Does this mean that the Vikings are giving up on JJ? Have they fully accepted that now after what we saw last year? Because I mean, he was horrendous,
Yeah,
horrendous.
I don't know that they've given up, but they knew they needed to bring somebody in to have a true competition before the season. And I don't know what they've said, and maybe they have said it already, but that needs to be said that this is a quarterback competition and, both guys have a shot. Like, if they are just bringing Murray in to be the backup and then he's just going to take over when they start 1-3, like, that's going to kind of annoy me. Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
I want
I
this to
agree.
be a competition, and if it is, I mean, I don't see how Murray doesn't win it. And yeah, the Vikings will be better off for it. I mean, McCarthy
Absolutely.
is like Murray. I Murray's weird. I mean, I think a lot of his career he was overhyped, and now I think he's like way underhyped. Like he
Yeah,
is a fine player. He's certainly a top 32 quarterback in the league. Like he is worthy of
yeah.
starting somewhere. And when you're comparing him to freaking McCarthy, like I think he is guaranteed to win this job, but
Uh,
it better be portrayed as that, a
Yeah,
competition, like, and it's
I
just going to piss me off if they just shoo him in as a backup and he
I
has to save their freaking season after McCarthy implodes.
I feel like it had to be portrayed to Murray as a quarterback competition when he signed there because McCarthy starting over Murray is like the nail in the coffin to Kyler Murray's career if he doesn't come back and save the
Yeah,
Vikings season. You
you're not
cannot
wrong.
be
Yeah.
beat out by 9, man. I mean,
Yeah.
he is just so bad. I've got a couple Michigan friends out here, and I talked to one of them about, sorry, like small segue as we wrap this episode up here. Our last thing I'll say, I know we've been talking forever, everybody. I promise it's over soon, but I've been talking with folks. I'm telling you right now. I was like, well, first off, I maintained ever since McCarthy was drafted, he sucked, and he was a handoff merchant at Michigan. He only won helped by sign stealing. Handing the ball off to some great running backs, great offensive line, never actually had to do anything as a quarterback, and they never wanted to believe me. And then finally he got to play. And then at the beginning of the year, they maintained like, oh no, you just wait. And then by the end of the year, they did come around to like, okay, well, but then this guy he hit me with, well, he's still going to be better than Drew Aller. And I was like, he absolutely will not. I don't think that you actually have watched Drew Aller throw the ball if you honestly believe that. I'm not saying that Drew Aller is going to be a killer per se, or ever be a top 10 quarterback in the league.
He
But if Drew
certainly has
Aller
better
finds,
tools.
yeah, if Drew Aller finds himself in the right spot, he could actually start and be an effective starter
Yeah.
in this league. JJ never had a shot to do that. But
Yeah.
anyways, rant over. Um, we can wrap up this episode here, everybody. As always, we love and appreciate you for listening in. We are so happy to be back, and hell, we gave you a hell of a long episode in our return here. There is
Hope you
no
missed
doubt
us.
about that. Yeah. But all right, everybody, we will be back with you next week.
Let it be CC.